Welcome to Biff's Mystery Theater. I have many tales to tell you. Ghost stories, murder stories, and tales that will make your bones chill. Join me, won't you? For Theater of the Mind, where you always have the best seat in the house. Now close your eyes and turn off the lights.
Marshall. Welcome to the world of eerie imagination, the fear you can hear. Vendetta. The very word itself invokes dread and strikes the mood of brooding terror. But to live on the island of Corsica, home of the vendetta, is to be steeped in the tradition of violent massacres and the fatalistic expectation of ferocious vengeance as a way of life. At least it would have been so just 100 years ago when these famous words were first written.
It was a hand. A man's hand. Not a skeleton hand, all bright and clean, but a hand black and desiccated, with the yellow nails, the naked muscles, and traces of blood upon the bones at the point where they had been severed as with the blow of an axe about the middle of the forearm. The fingers, extraordinarily long, were attached to enormous tendons, still held in their places here and there by strips of skin. That hand was something hideous. It made one think involuntarily of savage vengeance. And in spite of the putrescent look of death and dissolution, it seemed to have a life of its own.
Our mystery drama, The Hand, was especially adapted from the Guy de Maupassant classic for the Mystery Theater by Ian Martin and stars Alexander Scourby. I'll be back shortly with Act One. At the time of the bizarre and terrifying affair of the Hand, Henri Donnet was a police magistrate in Ajaccio, a charming little white city nestled on the edge of a beautiful gulf, shut in by lofty mountains. Most of the cases he had to investigate or prosecute there were cases of vendetta. But these were Corsican against Corsican. This affair of the Hand was alien against what? Something far more alien, perhaps supernatural. That was not until later, of course. For now, the only alien presence was a neighbor of Henri's, a Sir John Rowell, lately come to the island to settle down, and an object of great speculation among the native population.
Well, there goes my new neighbor again.
Does he go hunting at twilight?
No, Bernard. At least there's a magistrate. I hope not.
Well, what's he shooting at then?
I don't know, Marguerite. We have no sharks. The wolves and other predators stay in the mountains, and he's not been here long enough to start a vendetta.
Oh, I am not sure. Listen to that.
Oh, no call for alarm, Doctor. I'm quite sure your services will not be needed. It is the same pattern night and morning.
Well, Henri, then what is he shooting at?
A target, I suppose. He's keeping his eye sharp.
But for what?
Ah, now, that is the question.
Have you seen him? He is immense and very powerful.
And he doesn't encourage visitors. He has 2 huge Alsatian hounds that look ready for the kill at a word.
You are chief magistrate and in a far better position to judge him than any, Henri. What do you make of him?
I don't know. His papers are in order. I have no reason to have any professional interest in him.
Well, has he no one to share his loneliness?
He has a manservant he brought with him from Marseille.
No one else.
There was a woman listed on the ship's manifest as his wife.
Oh, his wife. Well, I never knew. Well, then, but no one seems to know that.
In the months he's been here, no one has seen hide nor hair of her. I've watched these evenings myself, and I've never seen her move from the house. If, indeed, she is inside it. So you see, Marguerite, very soon, both as friend and policeman, I'm going to have to satisfy your curiosity and my own about the mysterious Sir John Rowell. For a while, however, I had to content myself with having a close watch set over the man. None of my people could find anything suspicious enough in his actions for us to make any move. But as the strange rumors about him continued and increased, I resolved to see the stranger face to face for myself. I made a point of going hunting every day in the neighborhood of his place. It took me a little while, but at last, one day... So, bien, Fernand, hold the point. You flushed him, Got him right under the Englishman's nose. Go fetch him, Fernand. Fernand, hold. Hold on.
Whiskey! Down, boy, down!
That's it. Good dog. Hold.
Here, Whiskey, here! My apologies, sir. You're a bird, I believe?
No, not at all. I shot him right from under you. Sorry. I didn't know you were there.
Nor I you. Allow me. I'm John Rowell.
Yes, I know, Sir John. I am your neighbor up there on the hill. Henri Donnet.
Pleasure. Damn fine shot.
Sir John, will you accept the game as an apology for shooting over your field?
That's very generous. I'll accept on one condition.
What's that, Sir John?
That you let me return the compliment and ask you to join me in a glass of ale.
Good. I will be only too glad to accept. It was less the heat of the day than my professional interest that prompted me to accept the invitation from the tall man with the red hair and beard. Very tall indeed. And also very broad, a sort of placid and polite Hercules. I was most anxious to be able to question him about his life and his projects.
Joseph, out here on the veranda. Change your mind and have something stronger?
Oh, no. Ale will be perfect.
Are you cold, Sir John? Yes, 2 glasses of ale for Monsieur Donnet and myself. Very well, sir. And bring a cut of Stilton and some water biscuits. You like our English cheeses?
Oh, yes, I do. We are quite insular enough here on Corsica. It's a rare pleasure to indulge in a foreign taste.
I know what you mean. Still, I can't feel that Corsica, or for that matter, anything French is anyway foreign to me. Now, Joseph, splendid. Thank you. Put the tray on the table here. Yes, sir. You can loose the dogs again. It'll be quite safe while I'm with Monsieur Donnet. Very well, sir.
Oh, those are the big Alsatians I see occasionally, huh?
2 of them.
Yes. They look quite savage and fierce. Do you think perhaps my dog will...
Oh, have no fear. Castor and Pollux are as docile as kittens where other animals are concerned. They're trained as man-killers. Huh? And then... only at my command. Your health, Monsieur Donnet?
To yours. Delicious. So refreshing.
As the view of the sun setting across that blue Mediterranean water.
Yes. Does Madame Rowell also share your enthusiasm for your adopted island?
Lady Rowell is an invalid. I hope to nurse her back to health here.
Oh, if I could suggest the offices of my good friend Dr. Forestier.
If a doctor should be needed.
Oh, forgive me, I had no desire
There's
to pry.
There's nothing to pry into. Natural curiosity.
I must admit, I do find it hard to cast you in the category of a recluse.
Oh, yes. I've traveled a great deal. Africa, India, even America. And as for adventures, yes, I've had plenty of adventures. Oh, yes.
Big game hunting, huh?
What? Oh, of course. I've hunted them all. Tiger, elephant, rhinoceros, gorilla. The name's a legion.
Oh, all very dangerous animals. Terribly so.
Not really. When you compare them to the worst of all.
Oh, what?
What else, Monsieur Donnet? In your profession, you must know him too. Man. Man himself.
Hey! Hey, Sir John, come quickly!
What on earth?
Forgive me. I followed Sir John down the front steps of the veranda as he took them two at a time and disappeared around the corner of the house. I would have followed him further, except as chance had it, I turned my ankle quite severely on a loose stone after the bottom step. Stopping in momentary pain, the yelp and snarl of the dog suddenly quieted, and I was conscious of the squeak of the front door of the house. Arrested, I looked up to see, framed in the doorway, a tall, emaciated woman with great bruised half circles underlining her eyes that stared with a feverish gleam. She wore a long, loose, trailing peignoir, and with one hand, she beckoned towards me while clutching something in the other close beneath her breast. Painfully, I limped back up the steps.
Help me. Whoever you are, help me.
Lady Roll?
Whoever I am, this side of the grave, help me.
But how?
By sending this letter. Post haste. Oh, but please, I beg of you on all our lives. Don't tell Sir John.
Well, I'm afraid, madame,
Please, don't refuse me. You're my last, best hope.
Hope for what?
I cannot stay in case he returns, but please, I beg of you, send my letter.
She was gone. Like a wraith, as though she'd never been. But the letter in my hand was real enough. Before I had time to read the person to whom it was addressed, I found myself involuntarily concealing it in my pocket before Sir John, returning, could see it. Nor could I stop to ponder why my impulse had been to accept the lady's part rather than that of my charming and seemingly outgoing host. Why I chose to conceal its existence rather than reveal it.
My dear Monsieur Donnet, pray forgive me. I'm most sorry we had to be interrupted.
Oh, forgive me for not following you, but I turned my ankle. What happened?
Oh, the curse of trying to maintain privacy. The curiosity seeker. A farmer from back in the hills named Deschamps, who passes by here on his daily route, for some unearthly reason came skulking round the back of the house and was cornered by the dogs.
But what would you have expected to find here?
Heaven knows. I've no secrets worth anyone's concern but my own, as I hope you believe. Or is your presence here today more than just a seeming accident? Are you concealing something from me, sir?
For the first time, I was aware that he wore about his loins an American-style gun belt, and that low on each hip, concealed by the flare of his coattails, were two matched pistols with mother-of-pearl handles, on one of which his right hand rested lightly. The letter in my pocket seemed to burn through the lining as I tried to judge whether it caressed that handle by accident or design.
These were only the hands of Sir John, neither of which is the one in the title of our story. To meet that special hand, you must return with me shortly for Act 2. The huge red-haired and bearded Englishman towers over the small, dapper Frenchman. They are as widely disparate men as you can imagine. One all muscle and vital force, the other elastic, supple, poised always for the counterstroke, like a rapier. Antagonists? No, only in a sense. But whatever their relationship, mutually admiring of each other.
Why should you imagine I have anything to conceal?
Why, indeed. Come, let's go inside. I'll show you some of the trophies of a roving life, if you'd be interested.
But very, of course.
Can you stand on your ankle all right? Is it sprained?
No. Just a slight twist. From the hall, he led me into his parlor, which ran the length and breadth of the whole house across the back in a great L. His parlor was all hung in black silk, embroidered in gold.
The fabric is Japanese work.
Yes, but the rest is yours.
Not the panels. What's mounted on them?
Yes, tiger, lion, black panther. Those I recognize. And elephant tusks, I see.
The hippo and he and the rhino are a little large for mounting.
The rhinoceros is the most dangerous of all, I suppose.
Except, as I told you before.
Now, you're not honestly going to tell a policeman that you're a manhunter.
Not within the confines of civilization, I hope. But I've done a good deal of manhunting, too, in my time.
As a soldier?
That's a profession, not a sport. I've saved a mount in the center for the ultimate trophy. But never had, shall we say, the courage to make the necessary bag to mount it.
I was following the direction of his gaze to a gapingly empty panel in this bizarre and gory collection from the hunt. A panel conspicuous from all the others since it was lined in red velvet, as if in expectance of framing the pièce de résistance. What would you hope to put there?
Once, I would have been tempted. Now, nothing. I keep it there to remind me that it could be my own head that poetic justice could have easily decided to frame. Oh, Gad, it's suddenly getting dark.
Yes, then I must be off for home. I mustn't hold up your dinner.
I've enjoyed our meeting thoroughly. Please, come again. You're always welcome.
I am not quite so sure of your Alsatians.
Oh, you need have no worry. From now on, they'll treat you as a friend, as I hope I can.
As I want to be. We shook hands, mine disappearing inside his huge one, my conscience stinging at me as I fought a battle between Donnet the man and Donnet the policeman. Climbing the hill back to my villa with Fernand frisking along beside me, I tried to tell myself I was only being practical, that I was giving myself time to make my decision. A decision that was tipped by the testimony I received from Michel Deschamps as I questioned him at the barracks the following morning. Michel, why did you go so near to his house?
Well, everybody is curious about him and...
Everybody doesn't go near enough to have two dogs attack him.
Well, everybody does not have a milk route which takes him twice a day by the Englishman's house to see her.
What, to see her?
Well, it is at dawn, you know. Just before the sun comes up in the half-light and I am passing by in my cart. Naturally, I'm looking at the house when I pass.
Naturally, I would myself.
So, you see, at that hour, nobody is stirring. Even the dogs are not yet awake. And then I see by the upstairs window a woman. The first few days, I'm not sure. I crossed myself. She's not some witch or somebody who wants to steal my soul.
Why would she be a witch?
Because, at any rate, in that light, she looked so... I was afraid to answer.
To answer what?
Her signal to come near to her. She kept beckoning as if there was something she must ask me to do. Finally, yesterday morning, I could stand it no longer. I had to go see what she wanted to ask. Was that so wrong?
No, of course not, Michel. I would have done the same. But the dogs stopped you, huh?
Yes. In a way, I'm sorry.
Don't feel that you let her down. But from now on, mind your own business.
Oh, I accept your instruction. I will follow what you advocate.
What I advocate, by all means. Not what I do.
I don't understand you.
Sometimes, even a magistrate has to admit, I do not understand myself. But that is not for you to worry about. That very morning, there was a mail packet sailing. And I sent off the letter, quickly, almost surreptitiously, without looking at the address, except for the fact that it was to the United States of America. And I forgot it, I imagined. And the months went by.
Oh, I do think it's very tedious of you, Henri.
Madame Forestier.
Oh, well, either for reasons of your own, you are protecting our most famous visitor from the rest of us, or, well, he has some hold over you to protect his precious privacy.
He has no hold over me.
Oh.
Quite the contrary. But if he wishes to be private, I would be the first to protect his right.
Well, on a small island like this, why should he have it any more than the rest of us?
Touché. But if he can, why shouldn't he?
Oh, Henri, you know I don't know how to answer that. All I want to know is, do I have any hope that they might attend my garden fete next month?
They?
Well, there is a Madame Roel.
Yes, but she is sickly.
Well, is there some hope that at least Sir John might be coaxed to appear?
No, I have no reason to suppose that he would refuse. Now, Lady Roll, I would find it hard to answer for.
Well, then all I want for you is to issue the invitation. Please, may I count on you for that?
Marguerite. We're all old friends. Need you ask? I had my doubts about Sir John, and more particularly his lady, attending any local garden fete. But I could scarcely, in my wildest imaginings, have foreseen how extravagantly and tragically it would be impossible. As I approached the house in the hollow below me, I was in a first-class mood because, in addition to a packet from the mail ship for my host, I also bought a bottle of sherry to share with him that, in my opinion, was one of a kind. He met me at the veranda.
Well, this is an unexpected pleasure.
We had a mail ship in today. I brought you a parcel.
Me?
Yes.
And I thought I'd outstrip the mail. Vain hope. A parcel, you say?
This.
What on earth? It might be a gun from its shape, but it scarcely weighs enough. Shall we go in the parlor while I open my surprise parcel?
As we moved into that parlor, I was super conscious of my host's reaction to the parcel he bore in his hands. Although there was no superscription from the sender, I had an infallible feeling that he sensed exactly where it had come from. That somehow I was accidentally part of a climax in the life of this strange and vital man.
We've talked about my trophies, Monsieur Donnet.
Yes.
The ones I've mounted, the others too clumsy and large to render that way.
Yes.
And the third and different class, so far I've had no right nor courage to mount.
What are you saying, Sir John?
There is no reason for my receiving this parcel that I can conceive, except one. That I've found no refuge here. I've been betrayed. Only my wife could have done that. And who else is there to have aided her determination to destroy me?
You're asking me?
Yes. You're the only link we have to the world beyond this house.
Sir John, believe me, I had no wish to betray you.
I'm sure of that.
The day we met, your wife, while you were calming the dogs, your wife asked me to send a letter for her.
To Richard Roll?
Well, I must admit I did not read the address. I did notice that it was to the United States of America. I meant no harm.
He meant no harm. like Pandora, who naively opened a chest to loose pestilence and all the evils of the world to plague mankind. He meant no harm.
It seemed a simple and reasonable request.
So you acceded. No doubt she also asked you to conceal the fact of the letter from me.
Yes, I'm afraid she did.
Were you sorry for her ravaged looks, her haunted eyes? Did you picture me as some monstrous jailer, condemning her to a life of solitary confinement?
Sir John, I can only defend my action by telling you that at the time she did engage my sympathy.
I told you, I believe, that my wife was not in the best of health.
Yes, but...
The fault perhaps was all mine. I should have told you that she is insane.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
A little late for that. Done. You may have sealed her death warrant. Perhaps even mine.
Good God, what do you mean?
This parcel from America. Would you like to see what evil out of hell your acceding to that simple and reasonable request has set loose?
Sir John,
you have involved yourself in this on a personal level. Now I want to involve you on a professional one. As police magistrate, I want you as witness when I open this gift from America. The outer wrapping. Now what do you see?
A box.
And within it?
Something wrapped in canvas.
You wrinkle your nose against the smell?
Yes, it's very strong.
And very familiar?
Yes, formaldehyde.
Which is used to preserve flesh from mortifying. There's a drawstring on the canvas, which I'm opening. And I'm about to show you my present from the other side of the world.
You sound as if you know what it is.
I only wish to God I thought I didn't.
I echoed the same wish. But it didn't change the contents. It was a hand. A man's hand. Not a skeleton hand, all bright and clean, but a hand black and desiccated, with traces of blood upon the bones at the point where they had been severed as with the blow of an axe about the middle of the forearm. The fingers, extraordinarily long, were attached to enormous tendons still held in their places by strips of skin. Flayed as it was, that hand was something hideous. It made one think involuntarily of savage vengeance. And in spite of the putrescent look of death and dissolution it had, it seemed to have a life of its own.
So now we see the embodiment of the title of our story. A poor choice of words, since nothing can be more disembodied than a severed hand. Whose hand? And why? And are these nerveless fingers really capable of writing a death warrant? I'll return shortly with Act 3. In sick horror, his stomach churning with revulsion, Monsieur Denay looks at the loathsome object spilled on the desk between him and Sir John. In macabre fascination, his eyes seem riveted to the severed hand. It is only by a supreme effort of will that he is at last able to drag them away and up to Sir John's grim and haunted face.
What is it?
The hand of a thief.
But why? Why is it sent to you?
So that there'll be no mistake in my mind who sends it.
You said before, Richard Roll. A relation?
My twin brother. Younger by less than an hour. As the firstborn, I acceded to the title. The barony was mine, and the living that went with it. Richard had nothing, except my bounty. Our whole life was a gigantic struggle for supremacy. He, because I denied it him. I, because I had to hold it.
If you had everything and he had nothing, what chance did he stand against you?
I'm English, and I believe in fair play. I couldn't share the title, but I made sure the living was shared equally. I'm not ill-favored, and I'm exceptionally powerful and large. But Richard was taller by 2 inches, stronger by far, and a wild and darkly handsome man that stirred women to a passion beyond their senses. Until Claire.
Madame Roll?
My wife, yes. Whatever her true name should be now. When we were married, my brother Richard emigrated to the States.
And you have never seen him since?
Oh, yes, I have seen him. I'd hoped for the last time. Will you forgive me now? There's been too much talk, and I must find a place to hang my latest trophy.
To hang it? You can't...
I think I've had quite enough interference from you in my affairs, Monsieur Donnet. I must ask you to leave my house. You're no longer welcome.
It seemed a long journey up the hill that night, for I did not climb it alone. On the way back to my house, I was haunted by 100 thoughts. Had I done wrong to send the letter? Whose was the severed hand? What was the mystery of Sir John's retirement? And what motivated the vendetta of his brother against him? Old jealousies? Or was it all as simple as chercher la femme? Certainly, she would not be hard to find. It must be the Lady Roll, if a woman was at the heart of it all. Only one thing I could be sure of now, that I should not be seeing him again. But I was badly mistaken about that. Well, Joseph, what brings you here?
Begging your honour's pardon, but Sir John asked if it would be convenient for you to wait on him this evening.
Of course, when?
If it would suit your honour, now would be fine.
It suits me.
After my churlishness on your last visit, I'm more than touched that you do me this honor, Monsieur Donnet.
Since I am still concerned that I may have done you more harm than honor, I couldn't have hesitated.
I've some papers here on my desk that I wish to leave in your charge, after asking you and Joseph to witness them.
What kind of papers, Sir John?
My last will and testament, some property assignments, the legal debris that follows sudden death. Joseph?
Yes, Sir John.
Will you sign here and here?
Yes, sir.
Is there all this immediacy, sir?
In the midst of life, are we not all equally in the midst of death? Thank you, Joseph. You may go.
Yes, Sir John.
Now, you, Monsieur Donnet?
If you want me to. But I see no reason why. Whatever polite disclaimer was on my lips, it was frozen at that moment as my eyes fell on a blood-chilling sight. A black object in the midst of the empty panel lined with red velvet. Empty no longer. It was the hand, mounted now as the chief of all trophies. But different from all the others in one respect. They were mounted. This was imprisoned. Round the wrist, an enormous chain of iron had been rivened about the foul relic, and this chain fastened the hand to the wall by a great ring, solid enough to hold an elephant in leash. Good God!
Ah, yes, the hand. Well, better than my own head, if I can keep it. Will you sign?
Well, yes, of course. What is it? That hand?
That was part of my best enemy. It was cut off with a saber. Good thing for me, I can tell you.
It's huge. Enormously powerful. The man must have been very strong.
And so far, I've proved stronger. I put the chain on the hand to hold it.
The chain is no use now. The hand can't get away.
The chain is necessary. This hand always tries to get away.
That night, I had a hideous nightmare. I dreamt I saw the hand, the horrible hand, running like a scorpion or a spider along the curtains and up and down the walls of my room. 3 times I woke up, 3 times I went to sleep again. 3 times I saw the ghastly thing running all over my room and using its fingers like so many legs. The next morning, I was awakened by the news that Sir John Roll had been murdered during the night. For God's sake, Bernard, act like a doctor instead of some frightened schoolgirl.
No, you have not seen him yet, old friend.
Well, is it the first corpse either of us has had the misfortune to look at?
Just like this.
Oh, how did he die?
The cause of death was strangling, but under what shocking conditions. I tell you, Henri, in 30 years as a physician, I have never seen anything like it.
In what way?
We found him lying on his back in the middle of the room. His coat was torn, one shirt sleeve half pulled off was hanging down. There was every indication that a fearsome struggle had taken place. His face was black and swollen, frightfully distorted. But the most noticeable and terrifying thing was his expression.
His expression?
Absolute, hideous fear. And small wonder. For in the welter of blood that was coagulated about his throat, 5 separate wounds pierced through it as though driven by points of iron.
Only 5?
It was as if he had been strangled by a skeleton. But that is odd.
What?
What you just said. Only 5. Well, of course, how stupid of me. There was only evidence of one hand having done the strangling. That makes it even more bizarre.
Is there anything even faintly normal about this whole affair? Now, Joseph, you heard no unusual noise during the night.
Oh, no, monsieur le magistrate.
You sleep where?
Well, here in that little room off the kitchen there.
And there was no sound from the dogs all night long?
Oh, no, sir.
Yet if a stranger had approached the house...
Oh, those dogs would have torn him apart if he was a stranger.
But they were quiet? You would have heard them if they had not been, huh?
Well, I'm a very light sleeper.
Yeah. Did you sleep late this morning?
No, I'm awake before cocks crow, you see. So many things to be done. Water to be drawn, the fire to be laid.
Yes. And that's what you were busy with when Lady Rowell left the house?
Well, I was already preparing breakfast for Sir John and a tray to bring up to... you see, that's why I was so surprised when she walked into the kitchen fully dressed.
And what did you say to that?
Well, it's not my place to ask. I just said, what do you want?
And?
Well, she said she didn't want anything. Just that she was feeling better. And if Sir John should ask about her, she was off for a little walk along the beach.
Oh, that didn't strike you as peculiar?
Oh, it most certainly did.
And did she go towards the beach?
Well, I would have thought so. I didn't actually check on it. Why?
You're not aware that she's disappeared?
Oh, no, sir.
We'll leave that for a moment. All right, then what did you do then?
Well, once I had everything simmering like for breakfast, I went up to Sir John's room to assist him in his toilet.
You were in this habit?
Every morning, regular as clockwork.
Continue.
Well, he wasn't there, sir. His bed hadn't been slept in. Turned down just the way I left it the night before. So, I became alarmed. Everything was out of sorts, you see.
I see. And then you came downstairs and found him?
That's right. Oh, covered with blood from head to foot. It just don't signify.
What does that mean?
Well, you knew, Sir John, sir, if ever there was a man built and ready to take care of himself, it was he. Why, he never slept without having loaded pistols or revolvers within arm's reach. And he knew how to use them.
Yes. Have you any idea who killed him?
Oh, no, sir.
Could it have been Lady Roll?
Not a chance, sir.
I met her once. She was a tall woman.
No, but wasted away, Your Honor, and weak as a kitten.
Then who?
I don't know, sir. I don't even want to know.
Neither did I. Or at least to check on what was in my mind. But I had a duty to my position, and I must admit a morbid drive to support my supposition. He was lying, just as he is now, on this carpet here.
That's right, sir.
His feet pointed in the same direction.
Toward the door.
And his head?
As it is, sir. Towards the panel directly ahead of you.
Sensation that lifted the hackles on my neck. I knew, before I looked, what I was going to say. The sight that I had fought against making a reality. At last, involuntarily, I lifted my eyes to the wall, to the panel where the horrible flayed hand used to be. It was no longer there. The chain, broken, was dangling from the ring. But even that horror was to be succeeded by another. As I bent again over the dead man, between his clenched teeth, I found one of the fingers of the vanished hand, severed or rather sawed off by the teeth about the middle of the second joint.
Henri, forgive us for violating the sacred precincts of your police office, but the axle of my carriage is broken and we are here to beg you to carry us home.
If you're ready to go.
I'm always at your service. And tonight, since it grows dark early these evenings, I will welcome company.
But surely you're not still brooding over Sir John and his vanished lady?
The missing Lady Roll I can accept. Our Gulf is beautiful, but the tides are treacherous, and her hold on life at best was tenuous. Perhaps she wanted to end it. The mystery of Sir John is something else again.
Something best forgotten, I think.
Yes. But it doesn't seem to want to be. Let me show you. Marguerite, forgive me. If you feel faint, close your eyes.
Yes.
Bernard, you remember you said he might have been strangled by a skeleton?
Yes.
Yeah. Might he have been strangled by this?
Good Lord. So that is the famous hand, huh? Yes, if it were possible, such a hand could have made the wounds on his throat, but where did you find this?
It was discovered last night in the cemetery on the tomb of Sir John Roll. And mark one thing well.
What?
The index finger is missing. The one we found in the corpse's mouth.
The hand of a thief, Sir John Roll said. His brother Richard? But if so, what did he steal? His wealth? His reputation? His wife? And if his brother, in some gargantuan and titanic duel, struck off his hand, and Richard sought vengeance, which of his hands was the instrument that brought an end to the intense and private vendetta? De Maupassant doesn't tell us. Wisely, he leaves that to us to decide for ourselves. I'll be back shortly. I won't easily close my eyes tonight. for fear that my mind's eye will conjure up a vision of the black and desiccated hand with the yellowed nails, scrabbling like some loathsome crab across the floor, up and over my bed, and scuttling around the walls. Its 4 good fingers moving like spider legs, the mutilated stump of the 5th like a head. Our cast included Alexander Scorby, Ian Martin, Mildred Clinton, and Guy Sorrell. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown.
And now, a preview of our next tale.
You will be haunted by the magnet that drew you to me. The weapon with which I ruined your life and will destroy you. My smile, Ernest. My smile.
No.
Look at me. Sensuous lips bearing milk white, perfectly matched teeth. Look.
Here, let me.
She's falling across the table.
I think... Yes. She's gone. Berenice is dead. No.
Ernest, don't.
Her mouth. She is staring at me with her teeth. Anthony, in heaven's name, close her mouth. Close her mouth!
This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Won't you join me once again for an adventure in mystery and suspense, where space is as boundless and as unlimited as your imagination, and time is measured by the beat of your heart. Most of us know who we are, but how many of us know why we are? Rich man, poor man, beggar man, thief. Is each man's lot ordained from the beginning and fated to be, or not to be? Or is it all a random throw of the dice, a casual flip of a coin? Do we tamper with fate at our peril?
Who is it?
Police.
How do I know?
You got a chain lock, lady. Just open the door a couple inches. You can see my badge.
Oh, my goodness. What a relief. Please, come in. I saw this man. He was prowling around in the dark, outside in the back. I was so frightened.
Can you describe him?
Well, he was tall.
How tall?
Tall, about like you are.
What else?
And he had broad shoulders, like you have. Why are you looking at me like that? Please, don't look at me like... No! No, don't come any closer. Why would you want to hurt me? No! No! Please!
Our mystery drama, 3 Times Dead, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars William Redfield. It is sponsored in part by Buick Motor Division and Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. I'll be back shortly with Act 1.
And now another story of the ball and chain as Kellogg's Special K presents Veronica and Jeff.
Oh,
Jeffrey, isn't this romantic? Out in a quiet lake at night with you rowing the boat.
Yes, Veronica, it's really neat.
Jeffrey, what was that?
Frogs.
Frogs that go bonk?
They're pretty weird frogs.
Oh, Jeffrey, you're such a card. You have a ball and chain, like the ones they use in those Special K commercials.
Yes, Veronica. It symbolizes my few pounds of extra weight. But I'm going to get rid of it.
How?
By exercising. You know, like rowing this boat and eating smart at every meal, starting with a Special K breakfast.
You mean a 1 ounce bowl of high-protein Special K, 4 ounces of skim milk, orange juice, and coffee?
Precisely. It's less than 240 calories, and it tastes delicious. It'll help me get rid of this ball and chain.
I'll help too, Jeff. After all, we're all in the same boat.
You have a ball and chain, too.
Your happy ending could begin with the Special K breakfast from Kellogg's.
How do you do? Can I help you?
Yeah, I just want a can of Rust-Oleum. What do you mean, I got some patio furniture that's getting rusty. And I know Rust-Oleum comes in lots of colors, and it'll stop that rust, and I want some of it. Look, this is a retail store, right?
Right.
You sell people like me the things we want, right?
Right.
And I want some Rust-Oleum, right?
Right.
So you're going to sell me some, right? And why not?
Well, we think people should use Rust-Oleum only on weekends. Today's only Tuesday. If you took some Rust-Oleum home today, you'd want to try it right away. Once you saw how easy it is to use Rust-Oleum and how good it looks, why, you'd want to touch up everything that needs touching up, and that might take you through Thursday, and your boss will be calling to find out how come you missed work for 2 days. Now, do you think we want a thing like that in our conscience? That's why we sell Rust-Oleum only on weekends.
But I'm on vacation.
When the weekends come, use Rust-Oleum. Rust-Oleum.
Consider Napoleon. Historians agree that his doom at Waterloo had been ordained some 3 years before in his costly victory at Borodino, a tiny village on the road to Moscow. They say that at Borodino, he lost the flower of his army. And why did he lose so many of his best soldiers? Because he was unable to think clearly. The reason? He was suffering from a severe cold. Why? Well, we know that his orderly had gotten drunk the day before, and thus neglected to have a pair of dry boots ready for the great general. And so, in a very real sense, this unnamed, unknown, obscure military servant changed the course of history. Those are the facts. We may ask, why was the orderly drunk? Did it just happen? Or was it all part of a plan? Is every single action on the part of every living thing prescribed, ordained, decreed? We don't know. We're just asking, as will some of the people you're about to meet.
All Area 4 units proceed to 160 South Benton. Reported holdup in progress. Repeat. All cars to 160 South Benton. It's an antique shop. Suspected holdup in progress.
But I tell you, I have nothing.
Easy. If you hit him any harder, you'll kill him. Listen, Grandpa. Be smart, huh?
Take my money. It's in the drawer. Take my money.
We don't want your money, Grandpa. All we want is that little statue. Now, you got it here somewhere. Get it.
Please don't.
Now, you hand it over, Grandpa. You hand it over.
Hold it right there. Drop those guns.
Sure, officer. Sure thing.
You okay, sir?
I think so. There's 2 men.
I know. Take it easy.
Greenway, what happened?
I guess they're dead.
Hey, Red, get on the radio and get us an ambulance, huh?
Sergeant, they both had guns. One was pistol whipping this old man.
Sir, we'd better get you to a doctor. I'm sorry to have caused you so much trouble.
They started to shoot as soon as they saw me. I guess I was luckier than both of them.
Yeah, you did a good job. Hey, Greenway, what is it?
I've been a cop for 8 years. It's the first time I ever had to draw the gun out of the holster.
Can you drive?
Drive? Oh, sure.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'll get Smitty to take your car. You come back with me. Write up your report.
Now?
Sure, right now, while it's fresh.
Yeah, it's me.
I heard about it. It was on the radio.
Yeah, it's going to be on the TV news, too. Before we could even get out of the place, everybody was there. Microphones, cameras. 2 men are dead, and
what?
Well, nobody seems to realize that...
But, Don, everybody knows they're dead.
Look, honey, I can't explain it. These 2 men, they're dead. Their lives are finished, see? I ended the world for them. They don't exist anymore. That's what being dead is.
Don, you had no choice.
I know.
It's part of your job.
I know. I guess I never looked at that part of the job. I always had the idea I was a cop because I wanted to help people.
You helped that poor old man today. You saved his life.
I understand, honey. I know all the arguments.
And what is it?
I just never thought I'd have to go for the gun.
Don.
I feel as if some part of me is gone.
What?
I don't know. When I saw those 2 men dead on the floor, I felt that some part of me simply disappeared. Something in my mind.
Something like what?
I don't know, but it's something that I felt was very special and important to me, and now it's gone. It's disappeared.
What you did was absolutely necessary.
I agree, but it doesn't change the basic fact, which is I killed. Listen, how about dinner?
I didn't know how you feel, so it's wide open.
Okay, let's go out.
Sure.
Dress up. I'll take you to Ferretti's.
Oh, we're going to make this an occasion.
Well, it is an occasion, I guess. Maybe it marks my coming of age.
4816 South Torrance Drive. Report a man is beating up his wife. Oh, talking about wives. 21, Greenway. You with us this afternoon, Don?
Yes, Sergeant.
Your wife wants you to call her on your coffee break.
Something wrong, Sarge?
Why don't you take your break right now?
He said he wants to entertain both of us this evening at his home.
Are you sure?
He said his name was Mr. Sanchez, the one whose life you saved.
Oh, I thought it was something important.
It is important. Well, that is, he made it seem like a matter of life and death. Look, I already promised him we'd be there.
May I pour you some more wine?
It's delicious.
My dear friend, I am so sorry I could not thank you earlier.
Look, it's not necessary to thank me. I did my job, nothing more.
Unfortunately, I have been in the hospital for the past week, so I have been unable to show my appreciation. And tomorrow my business takes me abroad for an indefinite period, and so it must be tonight or never.
Well, what do you mean?
Consider this tiny statue.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Hardly 6 inches tall and is pure gold.
It's exquisitely made.
See? The figure of a woman, and twined around her, a serpent. Now, why do I show you this? Because this is the object those 2 thugs were after.
Oh. But why? I mean, what did they know about it?
Probably nothing. Perhaps someone had paid them to get it.
Who?
It could be anyone. That is, anyone who might be aware of the legend that surrounds this statue.
A legend of Don.
It is said that whoever owns this statue will be granted 3 wishes.
Well, oh, no.
Oh, don't mind him, Mr. Sanchez. He's always skeptical about everything.
Now, do you know what year this is, Mr. Sanchez? All that went out with the Arabian Nights.
John, can't we have a little romance?
You say that the statue will grant you 3 wishes, so why didn't you use it to save yourself when those hoods were beating you up?
I did.
What do you mean you did?
I wished to be saved, and you arrived.
Mr. Sanchez, I arrived because I got a call on the police radio.
But you arrived, and it was their 2 guns against your 1. And they fired first. Yet you killed them both. How?
What are you getting at, Mr. Sanchez?
Everything or nothing. Now, I wish to make you a gift.
Oh, no, I couldn't.
Of this statue.
Don!
No, please, that's out of the question. Besides, why would you want to give it away since you seem to be convinced that it works?
Because when I asked to be saved, that was my third wish.
Mr. Sanchez, I appreciate what you want to do, but it's illegal for me to accept payment for performance in the line of duty.
This is not payment. It is a token, a gift. Look, I am leaving the country for an indefinite period. I am an old man. I cannot make any long-range plans. I may never see you again.
There is no way to slice this to make it come out differently, Mr. Sanchez.
Are you saying that there is no way I can show you my appreciation?
No way beyond a thank you, and I've already received that. Ella, look, it's getting late.
But, Don, Mr. Sanchez is very sincere.
I know he is. It's still getting late.
Before you go, consider. In the ordinary way, I should be dead. That was the obvious way. Fate was working. However, by means of this statue, I changed it. In doing so, I also changed your life. You're a different man because of me.
I'm the same man I always was.
You don't realize it yet. So, take this statue.
Look, I'm very sorry, sir, but
You may need it. You may even now be headed for a fate that you may wish to change.
Mr. Sanchez, thank you for an excellent dinner and a very pleasant evening. Ella, tomorrow's an early day for me.
Then there is nothing I can say to you?
I'm afraid not. Wow, honey, this is a spread.
I thought you'd be hungry tonight.
Look at that steak. Oh, you even baked a pie.
Yes, I did.
Look, I'm going to have to start losing weight soon.
Don, I have to tell you something.
Sure, what?
Well, at first I thought maybe I could keep it a secret, but...
Hey, what is it?
Look up there. On the shelf.
On the statue.
Before you say another word, it's mine.
Yours?
Listen, Don. He stopped off here this afternoon on the way to the airport. He asked me to accept the statue.
Couldn't you tell him that I can't?
I told him. I even told him I couldn't accept it as a gift either.
Well, so how does it happen that it's sitting
Well, he said, let me sell it to you.
Sell it?
Let me sell it to you, he said, for $50.
$50? It's worth at least $1,000.
Don, he convinced me we might need this statue one day.
Honey, for what?
Who knows? Anyhow, it's my statue. I have the bill of sale made out to me. Here it is. Now, what would you like me to wish for?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing. And Ella, I want your word of honor that you will never use that statue to wish for anything.
But, Don...
I want your promise.
But you can't be serious.
Look, I'll tell you how serious I am. If you ever make a wish on that statue, I will break up our marriage. Now, can I have your promise?
Why is Don so upset? Is it such a bad thing to have a wish come true? Well, it is, according to both Aesop and James Russell Lowell, because both of them said, granting our wish is one of fate's saddest jokes. Even so, and with all due respect to those two great men, wouldn't most people jump at the chance to get a wish gratified? The proposition will be tested when I return in a few moments with Act 2.
You don't see many people putting salt in their beer nowadays. Not that there's anything wrong with salt on radishes or French fries, but man, not in the king of beers. Truth is, the only thing salt can do for Budweiser is make it salty. An unwise thing to do to the only beer in America that's Beechwood aged. Unsalted Budweiser has become the most popular beer in the world. That's because in brewing Bud, The Budweiser Brewmaster goes all the way for a taste, a smoothness, a drinkability you'll find in no other beer at any price. And something else you can take without a grain of salt. The fact that when you say Budweiser, you've said it all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
I never thought I'd admit it. I'm Susan X, and I used to be a deodorant switcher. I kept switching from one underarm spray to another, looking for one that gives me everything I want. And I found it. It's called Body Oil. Body Oil is different. It says so right on the label. Its deodorant is micro-encapsulated, so I get a fresh surge of deodorant every time I perspire. Now that I switched to Body Oil, I promise I'll never switch again.
This is Al Wisk. Southern Methodist University and the Southwest Conference will be our topics Tuesday night on Sports Central Dallas. My guest will be SMU's athletic director, Dick Davis. We'll talk about the Mustangs and the expansion of soccer in SMU's athletic program. We'll look at what's brewing in the Southwest Conference, like the postseason basketball tournament. SMU athletic director, Dick Davis, our guest, Tuesday night, 6:15 to 7 p.m., right here on KRLD, the sports voice of the great Southwest.
It's a tiny statue, perhaps 6 inches high, made of the purest gold and the finest workmanship. It's the figure of a beautiful woman with a serpent coiled about her waist. It is said to have the power to grant its owner 3 wishes. And would you believe that it's the source of a violent argument between Don and Ella Greenway in this day and age of electronics and jets?
Don, wouldn't it be something, though?
Wouldn't what be something?
If it were all really true. If we could get 3 wishes out of it.
Now, Ella, I meant what I said before. No wishing on that statue.
Don, do you mean you believe the old man? Well, do you?
What's the difference?
But, Don, how could...
Ella, remember what he said last night about how I happened to be there?
Yes, but...
When I pulled up in the squad car and jumped out, I couldn't see inside that shop. Do you know what I mean?
No.
There's a window display. It blocks your view. The door was closed, and it's a heavy wooden door.
What are you trying to tell me?
Listen. The call came in, you see? It was relayed to Sergeant Carter. The assumption was some passerby had seen the holdup.
Well, it has to be what happened.
How? How could anyone on the street have seen anything inside the shop?
Maybe someone passing by heard the old man scream.
Oh, no. See, I was there at the height of it. I didn't hear a thing. I didn't see a thing. Until I threw that door open.
Well,
but what? I got there first because mine was the nearest car to the scene. Each of them got off a shot at me before I could even fire.
Don. Please, I don't even like to think about it.
Ella, I didn't even want to shoot. Would you believe it? I had to force myself to pull the trigger. Still, when the smoke clears, there they are. They're dead. I'm alive. Could there have been, fate or whatever you call it involved there?
On the other hand, it could just be the way things happen sometimes.
That's right. So, let's let things determine themselves, right? For better or for worse.
How would it be if I wished you made sergeant?
I'm going to make sergeant anyhow.
That's true. How about money?
No, Ella, I want you to listen. Forget that statue.
I won't wish for $1 million. Look,
Ella, I'm telling you.
All this is extremely practical and justified. Look, we owe $12,000 on the mortgage.
Ella.
$1,500 on the car.
I don't want to go into all this again.
That's $13,500. We owe $400 for the new roof, and you'll have to have that dental work done. That's another $600. And we've been promising ourselves an air conditioner for the bedroom.
Honey.
And our washing machine is 10 years old. Comes to, say, $15,000.
I don't want to hear any more, Ella.
Don, it's my statue.
Please, Ella,
What is it, Don?
All right. All right, I'll admit it. I'm scared.
Of what?
I don't know. Ever since that shootout, I've had all kinds of crazy ideas.
Crazy ideas?
Well, not crazy so much as mixed up, and I don't even know if they're ideas. They're more like feelings.
Can you?
No, I can't describe them. Honey, just please, listen, don't do anything right now to upset me, okay?
You need a vacation.
I'm all right. Let's just let everything sit for a while. Hey, what time did it get to be? I have to sign in at 5. Goodbye, honey.
Bye, darling.
Ella, just humor me, will you? I mean, promise.
I promise. I promised. And I probably would have kept that promise. But I was loading the dishwasher. I turned the knob, and nothing happened. I kept clicking the knob, and nothing happened. I was so angry, so frustrated, I finally kicked it. And nothing happened. All we wanted was to live nicely, comfortably. It would take $15,000 to put us ahead of the game. Would that upset fate? I looked at the statue. I remembered the words that Mr. Sanchez had spoken when he left here.
You look at the statue. You say to the statue, I wish for. I wish for $15,000. Phillips, go to 45 Stuyvesant. Lady complaining about a streaker. 86 Heatherton. Some drunk is annoying people. Cancel. Area 4, stand by. Checked in 86 39 14 21.
21. I'm at Collins and Walker.
It's a holdup. Merchants Federal, North Main. Perpetrators escaping in blue station wagon headed toward Interstate Highway. At 21.
21.
Head south to Washington and cut them off. All cars toward Washington and Interstate Highway. 21.
21.
You turn east on Washington. Blue wagon headed toward Collins intersection.
21. If alleyway's open past Jefferson, I can shortcut through there. 21. I'm in the alley, coming out on Washington. 21. They just went by me. 21. They turned left into Turnbull. I'm following.
All units west on Turnbull. West on Turnbull.
21. He's trying to swing around. He's crazy.
21. Come in, 21.
Mrs. Greenway?
Sergeant Carter. Where is he?
Oh, they just brought him down from the operating room.
Just tell me. Don't try to break it slowly. I have to know.
Well, as of right now, he's still alive.
Oh, thank God.
We had him trapped. They tried to turn around and get by him. It was a head-on crash.
I want to see him.
Sure. Come inside with me.
Come in. I'm Dr. Morris.
Doctor.
He's still unconscious.
But wait.
We're doing everything we can. He's surrounded with intensive care.
But really...
Mrs. Greenway, there are different methods of handling a thing like this. I could build up your hopes, or
you can tell me the truth.
I can tell you what appears to be the truth. To us, at this time.
He's not going to make it.
The outlook is not good.
Why is the outlook not good?
There's been an unbelievable shock to his system.
Yes.
There's been some, not very much, but a little brain damage. Nurse, maintain the indicated levels of fluids and oxygen and report even the slightest changes immediately.
May I stay here for a while? I promise not to get in anybody's way.
Of course. Excuse me.
Mrs. Greenway, if there's anything any of us can do...
Thank you, Sergeant.
It's guys like him. God, what's the use? It's usually guys like him who get it. You know, it's funny. He might have had a premonition about it.
What are you saying, Sergeant?
Oh, I don't know. I was just thinking aloud.
No. Now, tell me. Tell me what you mean by a premonition.
Well, it's just how things work out, you know. A couple of months ago, we got this new Benevolent League special insurance, and Don never paid any attention to it. But this morning, before going on duty, he said to me, "Hey, Sarge, hand me a form. I'll sign up."
He signed up for special insurance this morning?
Yeah.
How much insurance?
How much? Well, let's see if I can remember. Oh, sure. It was the same as mine. $15,000.
This morning, Ella Greenway stood before a tiny gold statue and wished for $15,000. Taken by itself, we could call it an act of superstition. Now, 14 hours later, her husband is dying, and we find he has just insured his life for, you guessed it, $15,000. Rarely is superstition so scientifically supported by mathematics. We'll have another set of numbers when I return shortly with Act 3.
Hello, Ms. Goldilocks here, and welcome to my professional taste testing laboratory. Oh, Papa Bear, could you bring that case of sugar-free Diet 7-Up over here?
Another case? Miss Goldilocks, you're drinking this sugar-free Diet 7-Up like there's no tomorrow. You can't still be taste testing it.
Oh, no, Papa Bear. Sugar-free Diet 7-Up has already earned my seal of approval. It's fresh, light, natural, delicious. I drink it because I love its taste. Now hurry up.
Okay, here.
This sugar-free Diet 7-Up really tastes delicious. Ladies, if you're tired of switching from one diet drink to another, take some advice from Ms. Goldilocks. Try sugar-free Diet 7-Up and you'll say, yes, this one's just right.
I'll bear witness to that, Goldie.
You know, if we didn't have the name The Gentle Sound, I honestly don't know what we'd call the music. We try to create an environment, sort of an environment for living, you know. And naturally, we want it to be comfortable.
You are the words, I am the tone playing.
And not so oddly, I guess, we've ended up with a unique sound. The music, the little comments we add, the news.
I can't take all the madness the world has to give, but I won't last a day without you.
And I mean that about environment, because that's really what it is. A great place to live. You know what KRLD does, but if you don't listen daily, you probably don't know how well. KRLD is the most listened to station in Dallas. The Gentle Sound is one reason.
If you could have 3 wishes, would you take them? Ella Greenway was warned. Stay with what fate has planned. Accept destiny. Don't improvise. But all she wished for was a modest sum of money to keep up with the cost of living. However, it turns out the price she must pay for the money is her husband's life. 1 wish down, 2 to go.
I don't want the money. I don't want that.
Mrs. Greenway.
Huh?
Mrs. Greenway?
What? Oh, where am I?
Are you all right? Are you all right now?
Oh, I had a dream. I dreamed I was called to the hospital because Don had been killed. And no, it wasn't. It isn't a dream. Don is dying, and I'm here in the hospital. Doctor.
You fainted, and I can understand why. It's been a terrible shock. Dr. Morris? Oh? Very well, I'll be right up there.
Doctor, that was about Don, wasn't it?
Yes.
I can tell by the tone in your voice. It's not good.
I never told you it was good, Mrs. Greenway.
But now it's worse. He's getting worse. He's sinking quickly. It could be a matter of minutes.
Well,
Please tell me.
Yes. He could die at any time.
Sergeant Carter, take me home.
But don't you want to
Take me home. Take me home as quickly as you can. Take me home! I wish for Don to live. I wish for Don to live.
Mrs. Greenway? Oh, Mrs. Greenway.
Oh. Yes. Yes.
I just had to make sure you were okay.
I'm all right.
You had me worried the way you were.
Yeah, I'm fine.
And about Don, well, maybe the doctors don't know everything, you know? Maybe there will be something to...
Don will be all right.
Just remember, if there's anything at all... Well, Mrs. Greenway, aren't you going to answer it?
Answer?
The phone. Okay, don't bother. I will. Hello.
Is that you, Sergeant?
Yeah.
Could you bring Mrs. Greenway back here right away?
We never saw or even heard of such a remarkable turnabout. You could almost say it's a miracle.
Well, why not say it? There was one thing for sure. Mrs. Greenway never gave up hope, never lost faith. Look at that man. He's got his color back.
Respiration, pressure, heartbeat, everything. Everything is perfectly normal. I still can't believe it.
Don.
Ella? Ella, is it you?
It's Ella.
Where are you?
I'm here, Don. You're going to be all right. You're going to be all right.
Hi, honey.
Don! Tell me, how was it?
Well, I'd been away for a while, you know. I was kind of nervous that first day back.
But how did it go?
Oh, it just went.
I was worried about your going back so soon.
Well, it's been more than a month, honey. Besides, the doc wouldn't have held still for it unless I checked out 100%.
Don, did you tell the doctors about this?
The headaches? Well,
Did you?
Honey, everybody gets headaches, and these just come and go.
But yours can get very severe.
If they don't stop, I'll talk about it next time I see it. Listen, what would you like to do tonight? How about a movie?
Sure. Don, what's that on your blouse?
Where?
All over your sleeve. Was it blood?
Blood? What? How would blood get on my sleeve?
Well, it looks like blood.
I can't imagine. Maybe it's paint or some kind of stain or something. You know, I might have brushed up against something.
I better send it to the cleaners first thing. How could it have...
If you haven't started on dinner yet, let's eat out, huh?
All right.
Hey, you know what you forgot to do when I walked in just before?
What?
You forgot to give your old man a kiss.
Oh, Don.
Yeah, that's better. Well, you've got to shape up around here. Can't let you get into bad habits.
Don, you still have a headache?
Headache? No, it's gone. Completely gone. Maybe it'll never come back.
All right, we got some new little goodies for you boys in blue out there. Be alert for stolen Gold Arrow convertible. License plate 1232N, as in nobody. Brand new Toro sedan, shell pink, yes indeedy. Plate number 5498.
21 calling in. 21 calling in.
Yes, 21.
Sarge, I think I should come in.
Something wrong, Don?
Oh, I think I'm starting to get a headache.
Where are you?
3100 block on North Sheridan.
Well, this is on your way. Just check it out. A woman, apartment 3A, 560 Cheyenne. That's 2 blocks west of you.
2 blocks.
Woman reports prowler in the vicinity. She must be a nut. She calls an average of 3 times a week. But take down her story. It makes her feel better. Then come in.
Okay. What am I going to do with this headache? Oh, let me see. 3A. Yeah. 3A.
In here, officer. In here. Oh, come in. Come in. You took your sweet time getting here. I could have been murdered.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, now just tell me.
You ride around in your cars and you think you do a day's work.
Please, madam, just tell me.
I pay my rent. I pay my taxes.
Just tell me what... Oh, my head. Will you just tell me what you saw?
Don't you yell at me. You're a public servant. My servant. Huh? Why are you looking at me like that? Why are you looking at me? No! No, don't! Don't, please! No, please!
My head. What a relief. I never want to have another one of... Wait a minute. What am I supposed to be doing? Yeah, I go to apartment 3A. 560 Cheyenne. Woman saw a prowler. I'm here. What the... Lady, are you... "21 calling in. 21 calling in.
You heading in, John?
No, you better be headed out. The prowler was there, all right. She's dead.
What is it, Doc?
Won't know till the autopsy. He hit her a few heavy blows, and that was enough to kill her.
She was lying there. I could see she was dead or close to it, so then I called in.
Then what did you do?
I had a look around the back.
Anything?
Nothing.
From what I can see here, she tried to put up a little bit of a fight anyhow. See?
Yeah.
Slight trace of blood under this fingernail. She might have scratched him.
Well, Don, write it up.
Okay.
Then you can go home.
Home?
Yeah, didn't you ask to come in because you had a headache?
Oh, yeah, but I don't have one now. I feel great. Oh, sweetie, I'm sorry I was so late for dinner.
I heard about the murder on the news.
Yeah, I know. Oh, she wasn't a pretty sight to see.
Why? Why was she killed?
We don't know.
Well, did you get a chance to see anything?
No, I got the call to go to the address because she'd complained about a prowler. The next thing I knew, I was in the apartment. She was dead on the floor.
Don, what do you mean? The next thing you knew?
Well, because that's the next thing that happened. You know, that's how you write your report. You go from one fact to the next. Listen, honey, let's not talk about it, please. I never wanted to be a guy who brings his job home.
Don, what did you do to your face?
Huh? Where?
Well, it looks like a scratch. Just below your right ear.
I don't know.
Well, how did you...
You sure there's a scratch there?
Well, it looks like one.
Well, I might have gotten it from shaving this morning.
But you don't shave there.
All right, look, it doesn't bother me.
But how
And
did
if we worry about every tiny little scratch... Honey, what are you looking so serious for? I can't even feel it. All right, if it makes you feel better, I'll put some antiseptic on it. Ella? Ella, what's wrong?
Oh, nothing. I'm just tired. I feel so worn out. Taxi! Taxi! Take me to the 500 block on Cheyenne. 554, 556, 558, 560. Outside entrance. Inside door, and it's locked. Locked.
Why, hello, Ella.
Sergeant Carter.
Oh, what are you doing in this neighborhood?
Oh, just shopping. There's some very fine shops.
Ella.
Yes, Sergeant.
Tell me, since Don's been home from the hospital, has he... Well, have you noticed anything unusual about him?
Unusual? In what way?
Oh, I don't know. He has complained of headaches.
Headaches?
He may have come back to duty just a little bit too soon. Although I must say it hasn't interfered with his performance of duty. He's a great cop. Well, see you around.
Ella, hey, where have you been? I've been home for about 2 hours.
Oh, I was out.
It's okay. I made supper. Chili. What do you think? Pull up a chair and enjoy a treat. Huh?
Don, how do you feel?
Right now, I feel fantastic. I've never been in better shape in all my life.
I look at you and I don't know how to begin.
Begin what?
Don, the cleaner said you had blood on your sleeve. That was the other day. And the other day, there was a knifing. Some old tramp had been...
Wait a minute. What are you saying?
And yesterday, you went to the scene of another killing. You had a scratch, as if someone...
Ella, is this your idea of a joke?
Hear it all first. You went to this lady's apartment. Now, if she was already dead when you got there, how did you get in there? The door to the hallway is locked. You have to ring the bell. Donald, how did you get in there?
How did I get in there? What? How do you think I got in there? I rang the bell.
No.
Listen.
No.
What are you making it so complicated for? I rang the bell. She sounded the buzzer. She let me in.
She let you in?
Well, who else would have let me in? She lives all alone, doesn't she?
But Don. Oh, Don.
Look, I got this headache again.
Don, listen to me.
I have to lie down.
Something's terribly wrong.
When I get this headache, I can go crazy.
It really wasn't murder. You didn't know.
I knew. When I feel this way, I can kill.
Carter. Sergeant Carter. He was there again today for the same reason I was. He suspects.
Will you shut up?
You need help. Don, oh, darling, don't. Don't, please. Don't look at me that way. Don, don't look at me that way. No, it isn't even human. Look, keep away. Don, it's me. Don't. I wish you dead. I wish you
Ella? Ella. Oh, Ella, everything hurts so much. I just want to sleep. Never wake up. I just want to sleep. Don. Oh, Don.
3 times dead. And you can have the story any way you like. The supernatural powers of the little golden statue, or the sudden rallies and collapses that still defy the best thinking of medical science. Random accident or predestined fate. We always have something for everybody. As usual, I'll have something for you when I return shortly. I wish I could tell you what happened to the little statue, but I can't. Ella Greenway's house was robbed a few years ago, and the little statue was part of the loot. It may have been stolen by someone who knew its powers. On the other hand, it may be kicking around some antique or gift shop. Remember, if you see it, it's a beautiful lady with a snake twined about her waist. And if you should see it, would you buy it? Our cast included William Redfield, Suzanne Grossman, Sam Gray, and Dan Ocko. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by the Kellogg Company, makers of Kellogg's Special K cereal, new sugar-free diet 7-Up, and Sign-Off, the sinus medicines. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.